Sorry, y'all. Somebody was calling me, but I was 4 weeks pregnant, and we went in and we got the ultrasound done, and I didn't let Dustin come in because if something were to go wrong, I didn't want him to see. So I didn't let him come in. They checked me out. They did my ultrasound, and there was the sac. And last time we hadn't seen a sac, so we were happy. I'm like, okay. And the due date was on Christmas of 2010. So I was due Christmas 2010. Couple weeks later, started bleeding, knew what it was, didn't even think about, anything. I was bleeding chunks. I knew I had a miscarriage. I told Dustin I was bleeding, and he said, well, I heard that it's normal. I'm like, this much blood is not normal. And, it started off, my stomach was hurting so bad. I had no idea what was going on, and I just went to the bathroom, and there's blood everywhere. And I was about 5 weeks pregnant, 6 weeks pregnant when I had my miscarriage. I was devastated because I knew what was happening. And I just laid in my bed, and I was like, God, please just give me my baby. Don't let this be happening to me. And went to the doctor, found out that I had a miscarriage, and Dustin broke down. He cried, and I was, I knew, so I was way more prepared than he was. So, a couple months after that, we decided we were going to try one more time. Third time's the charm, that's what they say. So we try again, and I immediately get pregnant with Elijah. In August of 2010. So it was pretty close to the day the baby was supposed to be born. So, in August of 2010, I got pregnant with Elijah, and I had him April 25th, 2011. When I got pregnant with him, I didn't have any morning sickness. When I got past 12 weeks, I was like, okay, well, I made it past 12 weeks. Now I might have a miscarriage or something. And I went to the ultrasound when I was 18 weeks pregnant to find out his gender and everything, and he was perfect. He just had the roundest head, and he still has that little round head, and he was just perfect, just moving. Everything was just perfect, and I was so happy. I really was. I was ecstatic, because after losing 2 babies, it's kind of like, is this really happening? Is God really blessing me in this way? So after I saw his ultrasound, I was a little bit more content about it. Now we're going to move into the whole labor and delivery story, because my pregnancy was very uneventful. It was so uneventful. So I was scheduled to be induced on Easter, and that was the 24th. It was Sunday the 24th, and that was Easter. 5 o'clock p.m., me and Dustin went to the hospital to be induced, and they gave me some Cervidil at about 6 o'clock. At about 9 o'clock that night, I got moved to the room that I would be laboring and delivering in. Went to sleep, had to get some Ambien to go to sleep because I was so anxious. For the next morning, they were going to start Pitocin. So I took the Ambien, went to sleep. Early that morning, at about 7 o'clock, they took my Cervidil out, and I was 1 centimeter dilated. I was not dilated at all when I got to the hospital, and I was 1 centimeter dilated, and I don't think I was effaced at all. So, at about 9 o'clock, they started the Pitocin, and I started feeling contractions, but they weren't strong enough to make me dilate. So they were all like, and that was the point we got to about 4 o'clock that afternoon, and they were like, well, you're not dilating, because, I mean, I was still 1.5, 50% effaced, and they're all like, well, you're not doing anything, you know, we're probably gonna have to just stop the Pitocin and try again tomorrow. So I was like, no, he has to come out today. So at that time, my contractions were getting very strong and very close together. And everybody left the room because I was getting annoyed with Dustin's parents, my mom, my sister. They left the room. It was just me and Dustin in the room. So I'm sitting there screaming my head off, holding Dustin's hand like, oh my gosh, why did we do this? And lo and behold, I get checked, and I'm 3 centimeters, 75% effaced. Thank God, because I could finally get an epidural. So it was about 7:25 at this time, 7:25ish, and they started my IV so I can get fluid so I could get my epidural. But before they could get me my epidural, I'm sitting there like, I have to go to the bathroom. The nurse goes, you can't go to the bathroom because the cord might fall down and blah, 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 and then no air will be getting to the baby. I'm like, okay, well, I'm pushing. Something's going on. And she's all like, well, don't push because you're only 3 centimeters dilated. If you push, your cervix is going to rip. I'm like, I can't help it. My body is pushing. So she finally checked me, and I was 10 centimeters dilated and completely effaced, and he was coming out. So they sounded all the alarms. All the nurses came rushing in there. My doctor came rushing in there. I didn't have a chance to get an epidural. My mom comes in the room like, she didn't get an epidural. She was scared for me because I didn't have an epidural. And I was scared to death. And 7:39, baby Elijah was born, and they laid him on my chest, and he immediately stopped crying. That was the best moment of my life. Like, I never thought I could be so happy in my life, because I honestly thought that something was wrong. When he was coming out all fast and stuff, I thought something was wrong, but he was perfect. He was way more smaller than what we expected. We were thinking like 7-8 pounds, but he was 5 pounds and perfect. He was just so perfect. I didn't have to have any stitches. It was a really uneventful labor and delivery, besides the fact that he came so fast, and I was not prepared, and I didn't get an epidural, but my healing process was awesome. So that's pretty much the end of it, all my pregnancies and stuff, and how that all worked out. So yeah, my next video I'm going to do is probably going to be a boyfriend tag with Dustin, or a question and answer. So if you guys have any questions, please write them to me so I can make that video, and I will give you a sneak peek of Elijah. He's sleeping. He needs to be asleep. It's really late at night, but thank you guys for watching, and thanks for listening, and leave me some feedback.